Well, at 8:35 a.m., we continue with this morning's edition of News and Views, and we're going across now to Mozambique, talking with the Mozambique Islamic Council board member. We're talking with Sheikh Mussagy Rahman against the background of northern Mozambique. And we've seen so much, both man-made and also natural destruction taking place, war, cyclones, and obviously this has resulted in displacements, leaving communities in crisis. Sheikh Mussagy, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome and Jazakallah khairan so much for your time.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you for having me this morning.
Yes, Sheikh. Obviously, we want to focus on northern Mozambique, and we focused on it over and over again in terms of what has been taking place, the war that has been taking place. And I said there is a combination of man made disasters and also natural disasters with cyclones and the like as well. And just looking at the situation on the ground, how serious, how dire, how critical is the situation as we speak right now?
Yeah, as we speak right now, as you just said, I can just tell you that today we just woke up with the news that in one district in Cabo Delgado, it's just been wiped out the whole village. It's called Namuquila. So this village in Namuquila, we just have the news today, this morning, as we wake up, that this village has been, whole village has been burned by this in this problems in Cap Delgado. This village had first witnessed also the burning of the church the last month, as we can say, and not only this village is called Namaquila. I have to pronounce right the names, but there was another village also which had, like, two villages had suffered this issue of churches being burned. So today we woke up with the news that this second one, the Namaquila one in Ankwabe district, has been, the whole village has been burned. Now, this is just information I just received this morning. So as we can say, in the Cap Delgado, we're still having everyday news is about the problems, some villages, some people. For example, just before yesterday, we had about 12 people dead, and some were recruited, were taken by these insurgents, by the terrorists, as you can call them, and in also Ankwabe in the same district. Then in another one, it's called Shuri, another district also was attacked, and that just before yesterday. So we're having these problems. We're having this kind of news is bad news is every day or day in day out. So it's like, yeah, Cap Delgado is still facing big problems till today, since
Yes, Sheikh.
2017.
Yes, Sheikh. But also, I think, when one looks at this is taking place for many, many years, where Cabo Delgado and also northern Mozambican region, you've been obviously absorbing, or they've been absorbing this problem for many, many years. So it's one shock after another. On the one hand, we spoke about the conflict and the war that is taking place. But on the other side, obviously, weather conditions. They've experienced cyclones, they've experienced disease, cholera, and all of this is actually, causing massive amounts of people moving from one place to the other. You speak of an entire villages that have been wiped out, and this is obviously causing a massive humanitarian crisis.
Yes, it does, because people have to live since for when this started in 2017. I'm talking about Cap Delgado insurgency. Yeah, this started in that time. So from there, many villages, for example, from the littoral side, from the coast, have been attacking. Like, is like Makumia, Kisanga. Then you got Ankwabe, Metuji, Ibo, all these areas, and Pem and Palma, and these areas all were in the in the coast. So have been suffering this problem the most. And it happens that these areas also are most Muslim populated areas. So the great majority of people who are suffering are Muslims, and they have been suffering since 2007. These are the people who lost their lands, who had to move from their lands, most of them to places like Pemba and other, to the city center in Pemba. So they go to families, they go to, so these areas like others run to Nampula. So we have Nampula, another province, which is near neighbor to Cabo Delgado, which is receiving a lot of these communities, and most of them being Muslims because they are from the littoral side of the country, from the coast side. So that's why we see now their need for humanitarian support at these towns. You say Pemba and you say Nampula, who are receiving this great amount of people who are losing their lands, losing properties, losing means of income, and now they stay as a refugees, displaced people. Okay, so this is the situation since 2017, and it's been carrying on. As we're talking now, for example, I say Shiuri, it was attacked, is a little bit inland, not in the coast itself. That's where we start seeing these funny attacks on churches and we can see it's as if it has to, for us who are looking at this situation, is to we perceive it as a temptation to divert the attention. They've since the beginning, this war has been, they've been trying to show it as Islamic thing. So now attacking on churches, trying to give this connotation of Islamic insurgency or something like that. But the most people who are the victims are the Muslims themselves, and who lose their lands, who lose the mosques also are the Muslims. These are the ones who suffer the most. Although last month we saw these issues of churches being burned. So, and this is very complex because a Cabo Delgado population is a very mixed population. You will find people who are father, mother Muslims, themselves a pastor. You will find otherwise Muslim, non-Muslim. It's very, very, very mixed population. And people would live in Cabo Delgado like this together, although they may have problems, but there was no problems before gas. So that's for sure. There was no this level of problems before gas. So it's gas, we believe, the biggest problem, which was supposed to be the ni'mah for us, but it's turning to be the cause of this big issue. Now, as I'm talking of, as far as the cholera and diseases, I work myself in a NGO which works in communication for health. It's actually interfaith, but not interfaith. Not, we don't discuss faith. It's a platform, interreligious platform to communicate health messages. So we communicate health in worship places. So we train religious leaders how to communicate and prevent from health problems. So we've been working in these areas also. As I'm saying, Cabo Delgado, we have activities now there to communicate messages of health. So we are aware in this situation, for example, of cholera. We had cholera, but mostly in Nampula and some districts towards Cabo Delgado. But Nampula is the basis of where we have most refugees or displaced people. And we had cholera there in Nampula, Nakala, and this is also mixed with misinformation. We have communities there, people who give wrong messages For example, if you give, we have a drug that is given to clean water. It's called chloro, you know. Now, that chloro, the population understands that it's being cholera because the words are similar. So they spread these rumors. Now they start destroying places, they're expelling the health, destroying health centers, and those places to help people suffering from cholera. They destroy them because of rumors. Now we have also a rumor problem, not only the cholera, but the cholera comes together with this misinformation and disinformation that moves around those communities in the north of Mozambique. And we as Muslims who have been trying to clarify and trying to bring this Islamic teachings that, you know, in ja'akum fasiqun binaba'in fatabayyanu, that whenever a news comes from unverified source or unlegitimate source, fatabayyanu, have information, inform better, inform yourselves, you know, investigate. And we try to work with the communities like in this manner. Now, as far as because of disasters, we also had this, but this was more at this time as we're talking was more in the south, in Shai Shai places, which is in the south near Maputo, near the capital. So that's where we had these problems also, and we are working also with these communities to try to reintegrate those communities who lost their properties, lands, sometimes, and sometimes lives also. So we're working there as well. Yeah, Mozambique is in this situation, and but it's not all in same place. For example, as we're speaking now of this issue of natural disaster, but I call it this time it still has to do with some human caused disaster because it has to do with how do you call this waters, but it's not only rain that is causing, but it's all those dams that we have for electricity, the management of it, and opening it for to loosen the water. So it's management also of human of us human beings that is interfering a little bit directly to cause this problem. We had, yes, a natural disaster in like Idai and others before, but as we're speaking now, this last time, okay, it's a disaster because of, but mostly has to do with human intervention.
Well, Sheikh, Jazakallah khairan so much for that and also for taking time out with us this morning right here on Salam Media. And inshallah, at some point in time, we will continue providing updates and touching base. But for now, we thank you. Allah make it easy for you. Allah make it easy for the people in that part of the world as well who are displaced and who are suffering as a result of these disasters. But all the best to you, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Sheikh Mussagy Abdul Rahman, member of the Mozambican Islamic Council, with us this morning. With that, we're going to go for a break. We come back and we are going to be revisiting a discussion we had last night, talking about Islamophobia in South Africa. And again, raising the question, is there a hidden hand behind the chaos that we're seeing? And I must say, it was a very power-packed panel that we had on the discussion, and very, very rich, very, very powerful discussion in terms of analyzing where the problem is and what are the problems relating to the xenophobia, the rising xenophobia and Afrophobia that we are witnessing in the country.